Hi everyone. Welcome to WiBN in the studio. I know it's been a long time since we've been here, but I wanted to take some time to introduce you to, if you don't already know, because I don't know anyone that doesn't already know you, Daria Dillard-Stone. Welcome,
Hi.
Daria.
Hello, everyone. Hey, everybody out there okay? Are you really?
Yeah,
Okay, we're going to find out some things.
here we are, aren't we? So today we're at the Dayton Metro Library Northwest branch.
Yes.
And so you travel around from branch to branch, right?
Pretty much since I obtained this new career with Dayton Metro Library as the parent engagement liaison person, they have a new program called Rock Your Homework, but it's more than just Rock Your Homework. It's about helping A students stay A students. It's also including parents who need jobs, interviewing skills. They might need homes. They might need medical. Resources is what this library is all about, all of them. And I'm blessed to be here to continue to do what I started, really, when I started PACE in 2000. Parents always need somebody to advocate for them. And I'm still able to do that. But I'm training other people to do it with me now. So that's fun. And the library is a great place to work.
So you're
To belong.
Leaving, yes.
To belong.
Yeah, and you're leaving. This is your leadership legacy, then.
Pretty much is, Melissa. I never knew this was not where I was trying to go, guys. I was trying to be another Aretha Franklin or Gladys Knight.
Yes, me
Everybody
too.
needs
I
to
want
know
to be your
that.
background singer.
And you was going to be my background singer. Well, we have those aspirations, those dreams of what we want to do. But God had other plans, and He kept. I'm always advocating. I'm always trying to make sure people get equal rights, and I need for you to stand up for yourself. I need for you to speak up. I need to help you dress. And being the oldest of 12, that probably has a lot to do with it too. But I know women in particular, they need someone, and a lot of times it's hard for them to ask. It's hard for them to belong. It's hard for them to need, and they don't want anybody to know that they need.
Right, yeah. So based on a Stanford study, having a sense of belonging is particularly important to women. And Daria, you've been a part of Women in Business Networking for how long?
2011, and it's a beautiful story because at the time, which is now 6 years, this is 2017, I've been a part of this family, and they are like my family.
I love that you say that. It's a family.
It is a family. I've been in so many women groups and got out of so many women groups because I get tired of meeting. I need to get something to do that's going to impact, that's going to change. I don't need to meet about the change. We already know there's a need. Let's do something. Let's not ask anybody. Let's just do it one parent, one family, one person at a time. So I was invited to a lunch and learn by, first time was by Shondell Atkinson. And she's asking me, now she's running the mustard seed and she's busy. She's always stressed and trying to get this done, have this meeting. So I'm thinking, when do you have time to go to a lunch and learn meeting? But I knew if she was taking time out of her day to go, and she's about 20 years younger than me, had to be something good about it. So I went, and first impressions are lasting, and I was impressed. I walked in, and it was like, red carpet, new member. She's never been here before, bells and whistles. They put a little star on my badge, and I'm like, and they were warm, genuinely warm women. And Jeannie Porter was the one that was the leader at the time, and she made everybody feel like they were the only person there. So I'm like, okay, but I ain't gonna keep coming back. Now that was in August of 2011. Then my girlfriend, Sandy Guy, who is an executive director with her husband at Agape for Children, she said, Mama Daria, I want you to go to a luncheon with me. I think you would just love it and fit in. And I'm where you belong. This is you. So I'm like, where's the luncheon at? She said, at Rocket Cub, such and such a day. I said, this is myself. This is the same luncheon that Shondell took me to. And so Sandy, I'm like, okay, now look at the dynamics here. We've got a younger woman that's 20 years younger than me. And then we've got another younger woman, maybe 10, 15. Both of them are very busy women, and they're in business for themselves. One is a Caucasian, one is an African American. They keep talking. The same equalizer is this lunch and learn that WiBN gives. So it's able to feed both of them what they need. to the point that they want to share. It's like baking a cake. I need for you to taste this, is what they were saying to me. So that when I went with Sandy, I joined that day. That was like October or November of 2011. And I have not regretted it. They have helped me grow. They have shown me resources. They've given me resources. They've helped me find things about myself, first of all, that were my strengths and my weaknesses. And as women, a lot of times we don't want anybody to know we got weaknesses. We don't know everything. We all dressed up on the outside,
right?
But sometimes we're all messed up on the inside.
Probably all the time.
Yeah, more than we would like to admit, right?
I don't like that.
But this organization, it kind of takes the holistic approach. They didn't just do one thing, and I'm kind of like, I get bored if you just do. If I can anticipate what's going to happen at each meeting, I go. But each meeting, a new friend, a new person. So now here I'm telling people, girl, you need to come and go with me. I ain't got time for no more meetings. And I don't say nothing because I said the same thing. Right. But I found WiBN, Women in Business Networking, a place where I belong. And I love the diversity of the organization. I love the mission of the organization. And they're silly, they're crazy, they're smart, they love the Lord, they're just fun. They have faith, but they also have a future, and they want you to have a future too. You know how sometimes people get what they want to get, but they don't think about you. I don't find that to be the case with WiBN. It's almost like somebody will search out and go, is there anything that you may not have talked about, Daria, that you need? I mean, personal things. When I was, my going through some things personal since my job change closed in 2014, and I could actually cry in front of my sisters. They took me out and said, "No more crying. We're gonna have fun today," And what organization does that? But they put together a plan, if you will, organizational chart that's unlike any other. And in the middle of this chart, in my mind, there's a heart. And I don't care how professional we are, and we are that. We are very professional, but there is a heart in everything that we do. So in this organizational chart, in my virtual mind, I see this heart always beating, and it's trying to connect to another heart. You belong to WiBN when you join. You're not just there. And a lot of people say, well, I didn't get any follow-up call, or nobody asked me if I wanted to come back. A lot of times we're waiting for you to say you want to come back. Now, we should follow up. I'm not trying to get around that. But nobody had to follow up with me. They can't get rid of me now.
And we wouldn't.
And it's a good thing because, I've asked for legal advice and home. There's nothing that the organization doesn't have that I've needed in the last 6 years. And so that's a good thing. And then we're very close-knit. So as much as we work, we play as hard as we work. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times women don't do that. They don't laugh enough. Mm-hmm. And when you belong to something, it's okay to let people see you laugh and cry. And then you get back to the job that has to be done. We are going to change the cities that we're in. We're going to change the people that join our organization. Your change don't have to look like me and Melissa's change. Right. But what it is that you want, tell us what it is. You can belong and feel like you belong. And then even if you don't, we want to hear your criticism because we got the way we are because somebody said, do this, don't do that. You're good at this, but you're not good at that. We don't claim to have it all together. But I've been in a lot of women groups. Mm-hmm. And this one is kind of like an A to me.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
I mean it.
Yeah. I wanted to share, there's a Maya Angelou quote about belonging. And so she said, you are only free when you realize you belong no place. You belong every place, no place at all.
Oh, that's powerful. Because my philosophy of life is I don't need man to give me a title because God already has given me one. I'm a servant. And as a servant, I can go anywhere. My potential is unlimited. And that says the same thing that Melissa just read, that anywhere you go, you should change the atmosphere because it should be brighter when you walk in the room. Not that you're going to be on bright all the time, but you have to know that you belong. And you have to feel and allow somebody to come in places that you may not have never allowed. And you'll find out you're not the only one struggling. When I realized how many other women were feeling the same way, we got different zip codes, we drive different cars, we have the same struggles. And that was so wonderful to me, because I can't be fake anyway, but I didn't need to. I didn't need to mask when I joined this organization. So yeah, you can be any place and every place, and at the same time be no place.
That's one of the things I thought was interesting when I first started with WiBN, and I think you're expressing this as well. And Daria is one of our mentors for our Bridge to Success program, where she's mentoring 12 different mentees throughout 2017, 2017-18. And so the difference I felt like when walking into the room with WiBN was that sense of belonging. And I think I've heard you say before with mentees in the past about belonging and being part of WiBN, but also belonging in other places.
Right. And what I try to express to the young ladies is that as a mentor, somebody had to, I was a mentee at one time too, and I had to take what I needed, and everything that we say as mentors, they may not need it all, but I want them to know that you need to feel like you belong, and you need to know that your voice will be heard, but you just have to speak up. And I love, when they're new, I love to introduce myself, and they ask me, Miss Daria, why did you join? Oh, let me tell you what. Well, they said, tell no more. We can already see you excited. I'm joining. Sometimes I don't have to say anything. It's just you mentioned WiBN. And I'm in other organizations, National Council of Negro Women, the Guild. I got out of a lot of them, though. That's about the only 2 or 3. And, of course, in my church. But outside of my church, WiBN, it helps schools. It helps families, it helps women, it helps businesses. So I tell my mentees, what is it that you want to impact? Is this something you want to do just to put on your resume so you can say, I was a part of the WiBN elite group? Or is it something you're going to use to help somebody else?
Right. Which is really that heart that you talked about, that constant. And so what are you doing to spread that every time? Whether you're walking in the room or walking down the street or at another meeting or talking to another person.
Or being interviewed by Melissa.
What are you doing every time?
Right.
I love that analogy, just remembering.
That's how I see it. That's how. And once the heart starts beating, nothing will grow. See, that's just like us. If our hearts, this interview will be over if our hearts start beating. So you always have to find the pulse of the community that you're in, and then you get in where you fit in, as people say all the time.
Belong, right?
And
so
where you belong. And sometimes you can ask, you know what? I don't know where I belong. I did that as a young woman. I would ask, not so much women older than me, but I don't know if I belong here. I'm raising 3 kids. I'm trying to go to school myself. I'm struggling, divorce. All that comes into our life. But that's a season. It's not a lifestyle. It changes if we find where we belong.
Yeah. Do you find, and I don't mean to continue taking up much of your time, but do you find that you've ever been someplace that you're like, you know what, I really don't belong here, and is that okay?
I have. I really have. Years ago, Crossroads, it was something like a Toastmasters club, but after we used to have our meetings at the Stockyard that doesn't even exist anymore. I can't think of American Business Women or something like that. Anyway, I went to about 6 meetings. Now, I'm not the type of person that the first time I go, something happened I don't like, I'm not going back. That's not enough. You haven't given the organization a chance, in my opinion. Yeah. I want to give you a chance. But I went for about 6 or 7 months, and I would ask, okay, what do we do outside a meeting? Are there any women's shelters, or do we take women to a movie, or do we plan pizza parties for kids in low to moderate income? What is it that we do? Well, once a year we do a thing at Thanksgiving, a thing at Christmas, and but there's 10 more months in the year. What can we do outside of meeting? So I don't need another social club. I just don't. So I did write a letter and I thanked them. And I didn't just leave. I think that's rude too. When you show up at a bunch of meetings, or you're consistent, let me put it that way, and then all of a sudden you like Casper the Ghost, you don't show up.
Like, what happened to Daria?
Right.
Yeah, where'd you go?
The same way you came in enthused. If something changes even in your life or in the organization that you no longer say you fit, you can politely just say, you know what, as of such and such a day, I won't be coming to the meetings. I wish you well, but I'm moving on. We're not going to ask you where you're moving on to, but it's just kind of like a professional courtesy. So that's what I did. I wrote a letter because back then, it was in the 80s or 90s, we wasn't doing texting, Twitter, Facebook. I couldn't Zoom them. We couldn't do what we're doing right here. Right. And you know what they did? They said, Daria, no one has ever done that. Can we call on you for special projects? And I did say yes.
Yeah, some way to keep you still engaged.
Belonging.
Yeah.
When I'm in something, I get in to belong. I don't get in to just impress you, and you don't have to impress me. But I need to get in and belong. But I like to make an impact somewhere. One family, one person, one project. We did something to improve the life of somebody and ourselves. I dance. I got dance friends. I got friends I go out and have coffee with. So I need to be busy. Just making things better for people. And also remembering that I need to be nourished. I need to be mentored. I need to be encouraged and empowered. And I get it both ways belonging to WiBN.
I like that. Well, we're glad. We like that you, WiBN is just really full of a group of women that we're like a sisterhood.
We are.
And we all support each other. I know it's probably difficult for those that are the first time attendees to any of the Women in Business Networking events because you're walking into a room of women that you potentially don't know.
That's true.
But I can tell you the love, the support, the caring, the giving of the women that have been attending for many, many years, that's there.
It is.
Yes. And if you are coming to an event, it's your first time, you probably are going to see Daria or me, and come and introduce yourselves. We'll make sure you get introduced around the room. Because it's very important, specifically for us women, that we all belong.
That's true. And the thing is, when you do come to an event, and you're new, you're going to get a hug. I'm going to hug you. I stand at the elevator waiting for you, the new people, and I want you to feel like, wow, you took time to be with us. We're glad you're here. And all of us have that mentality, that spirit, if you will, of we're glad you're here. We hope you stay, because you will belong if you do. You will. It's a sense of belonging. It really is. And that's what There was something else I wanted to read before we go. And I love this that you said, Melissa, in one of the newsletters. It says, belongingness, personal, social groups are in the workplace. It's one of our most basic human needs. We all want to be liked. We all want to feel accepted. We want to be included. According to a study, as Melissa already said, having a sense of belonging is particularly important to us women, even more so than it is to our male counterparts. So how do we nurture that? How do you nurture someone? How do you make them feel like they belong? When you see this video, think about that. Do you run people away, or do you attract people to you? Are you approachable? Because sometimes we're not. People need to belong, but then the first encounter can mess a woman up when you're not approachable. Maybe you've had a bad day, but I didn't do it. So connecting women to women, creating events. We have different types of events, so that if I've never seen this before, if you haven't decided to join yet, you can come to some of our events free. Check us out.
Right.
See what you like. Very social, open. It's not uniformed. It's not stoic. Just come and relax and chill. A lot of times we don't do that either. And that's why we don't have a sense of belonging, because we always stressed out. But connecting women, creating events and opportunities and activities is something that Women in Business Networking does extremely well. They think about it first. In fact, we put our own self in it. What would you do if you went to an event and blah, 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 blah? Okay, you would want to, okay, how long should that last? What day of the week what day would you come? So we kind of toss it among ourselves as servant leaders. We wouldn't ask you to chew on something we haven't already digested. Mm-hmm. So we test ourselves first. If we wouldn't come, we're not going to ask the new people to come or put it out there for you to make a decision. But the thing is, we need for you to give us ideas.
Agreed.
We don't know it all. We don't try to say we know it all. Mm-hmm. We don't always get it right. But we do get a lot of things right.
Yeah.
And we want you to belong. WiBN, Women in Business Networking, where you belong.
Oh, we belong together, don't we?
We belong together. You can tell we look alike, don't we?
Right, yes, sisters.
Yeah, we are that. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, baby.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, it has.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.